What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode here on the Piscifun YouTube channel. I've been getting so many requests from you guys on fishing tip videos that I decided to make one today on the hottest ways that you can fish a Senko in the summer. A Senko is one of the deadliest bass baits, and I'm going to show you guys some of the ways I catch some of my biggest fish using them. Check it out. By the way, if you're visiting me from TikTok, please go down below, drop me a comment, and let me know your TikTok name. Now, if you're just getting started into bass fishing, you may not know what a Senko is. So let's talk about that first. A Senko is a style of plastic bass bait. Typically, they're heavily salted and they look something like this. Senkos, or stick baits, are made by a lot of different brands. You have Gary Yamamoto, who is the original creator of the Senko, and in my opinion makes one of the best. Then you have Young, you have Strike King, you have so many other makers out there that make stick baits. One of my favorites is Get Bit Baits, and it would be called the Salty Stick. A lot of people don't know that Senkos actually come in a lot of different sizes. You have 3-inch all the way up to 8-inch. This one is a 3 and this is a 5. These are my two favorites. This one is perfect for a Ned rig, and this is perfect for Texas rigging or Wacky rigging. First, let's talk about my favorite and in my opinion the most deadly way to catch big bass on a Senko, and that's Wacky rigging. We're going to talk about 3 different ways that you can Wacky rig this bait. So the first way that I like to rig a wacky worm is with just a regular simple hook like this. This is actually a Nico hook, or you can use a drop shot hook. Really doesn't matter as long as it's this style. So the easiest way is to just take this Senko, and what you're going to do is just fold it in half so it's like this. Once you have that perfect middle point, you're just going to take your hook and you're going to put it right through the middle of that worm so it sits just like this. What's going to happen in the water is it's going to fall and it's going to go like this as it falls down in the water column. So something that you might see a lot of people using, it's called an O-ring. So you use a Wacky rigging tool, you slide this little rubber O-ring onto the worm, and then you take your hook and you hook it this way through the O-ring. You'll lose a lot less baits that way, but typically I really like to keep it this way. I think you get better action out of the wacky worm hooking it this way rather than this way. Another great way to fish a wacky rig that not a lot of people do is drop shotting. So what I'll do is I'll use a 1/0 EWG. It's a really small EWG hook, and then I'll use a drop shot setup, and I'll actually just go ahead like I normally do, and I will wacky rig that on a drop shot. Now, what that does is it puts a wacky rig in depths that a normal wacky rig has probably never seen. So those fish have never seen this presentation in that super deep of water, and it can be super deadly. With this technique, sometimes what you want to do is do a really long leader line. Sometimes I'll even go up to 3 or 4 feet. And the reason I do that is because you can then lift the wacky worm without moving the weight and allowing it to do the wacky action down to the bottom. So that way you're only working the bottom 3 to 4 feet of that super deep water. The last way that I like to wacky rig is using a weight. You can use this weighted wacky to change the fall rate of your Senko. Sometimes fish are triggered by either a slower or a faster fall rate. So having this bad boy in your back pocket is a big help. Just a little tip for your weighted wacky. You'll see this little piece of wire here. That's a weed guard. So if you're not around weeds, what you can do to help your hookup is just take your pliers and go ahead and just clip that weed guard right off. So I showed you guys this little 3-inch Senko, and I told you that it can work well on a Ned rig. So I'm gonna give you a little bonus tip outside of all the other tips I'm giving you right now. Check this out. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna take our Ned rig, and we're just gonna thread this up onto there. We're gonna pierce it through and slide it up. This is so soft, guys, and so wobbly, it's super duper deadly for smallmouth and largemouth. You know, guys, color is really important. As you can see here, we've got one that's got gold and purple, we've got red and gold, we've got just a natural crawler color, and this one is actually green pumpkin blue. So every different day can call for a different color. Mix it up and see what works on your local lakes. Favorite Senko setup number 2. Now, this one you can rig a couple of different ways with different weights, but the premise of this is it's a Texas rigged weighted Senko. Now, in my opinion, one of the deadliest setups you can use is the one that I'm holding right here. It's got a bobber stopper, which stops that weight from sliding. So when I slide this down, it pins that weight down. And this is an 1/8 ounce weight. So it really allows that worm to glide on top of the weeds and fall into the holes. We're using an EWG, and all we're doing is Texas rigging it, and we're just making it weightless like that. It will pull through cover extremely easy. But let me show you a super sick tip that will catch you some more fish while using this rig. So what you want to do is you either want to go online or go to the store and get you some glass beads just like these. This is why glass is important, guys. So we have our bobber stopper. Then we're going to put our tungsten Texas weight on because tungsten is hard and makes a louder noise. Then we're going to slide our glass bead onto our line. So we're going to go down like this. So now we're going to have that, hear that clicking noise? A lot of you guys have asked me in dirtier water, how can I get more bites? Well, that glass bead is gonna help you guys get more fish because those fish are gonna hear and feel that tick, tick, tick as you're working that worm through the water. In this case, you're gonna wanna put your bobber stop up a little bit higher. You can leave it right on there, but that way that bullet weight can really slide. Another super deadly Senko trick that I really love to use is a Neko rig. Now it's a little bit modified, but I want you guys to check it out. So first, you're gonna go and you're gonna bite off just a little bit of that tail. Next, you're gonna take a weight like this one or a nail weight or even a nail, and you're gonna push it into the bottom of that worm. That's gonna make that worm be real bottom heavy. Then we're gonna take our Neko hook and we're gonna go about 2/3 of the way up the worm, and we're gonna go and we're gonna rig it through the side of the worm like this. So when you're fishing it, you're gonna be hopping that thing along the bottom. And then another way to do it is also, like I said before, is to use an O-ring and to hook that O-ring so your hook's a little more vertical. But either way, as you work this thing along the bottom, it's gonna be a shaky head-like technique, and it's gonna catch you a whole lot of big fish because not a lot of people use it. I hope you guys enjoyed the tips in this video. Make sure you go out and try them and let me know if they help you catch more bass. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button. Head on over, check us out on Instagram, and hit us up on Facebook and Twitter. We'll see you on the water next time.